Good morning, happy Friday. I hope the weather's better where you are than where I am. It is absolutely hammering it down, and yeah, not a nice Friday here at all. Hopefully, it gets better for the weekend. So, Rob's Roundtable. I'm going to answer questions. I've had a few from you guys on various platforms, so keep them coming. As I say, I want to start doing this every Friday, and if there's enough questions, then I may even do a live Q&A if you guys wanted it. But let's start with the first question I received. What was the catalyst that started me on this journey? I did think I'll have a few questions surrounding why this new venture, what caused me to come down this road, why did I leave my previous job? Because I see many of the followers right now are people I knew in my previous job. For those that don't know, I was a trainer in financial markets, compliance and risk management for an IT company, which I trained people and getting them ready or more aware of what our companies did from a financial perspective. And I'll be honest with you, I really enjoyed my previous job, and there were parts of it I didn't like, and goes with any job. But I really liked when the consultants come in and I got to train them in subjects I really liked. I really enjoyed training these subjects. Financial markets is one of my biggest passions outside of fitness, okay, and cooking. And this is why I am going to slowly open up this area on my site in the near future. I just wanted to get off and running with the website in fitness and diet, because I thought that would be more helpful for people just to start with. And the honest answer, what was the catalyst? There was quite a few. The biggest catalyst was my son was starting school, and the company started to bring back people in the office, and I was never opposed to that in general. But I am a person that needs to know why they need to do something that wasn't necessarily, in my view, the best route to take for trainers in the company. And no one could explain to me why. They just basically said that we want you back in the office, that's it. And there was many benefits of training from home, and no one seemed to want to know those benefits. They just wanted us back in the office for no reason other than just do it. So that didn't sit well with me, and obviously practical reasons with my son starting school. My wife's got a demanding job, and I couldn't just turn around to her and say, well, it's over to you now. You're in charge of our son for 3 days a week, because that's the amount of time they wanted us back in the office. And yeah, I won't be around on those days, and I'm not going to go through my son's upbringing missing 3 days of his life, which by the time I got home from the office, it would be more or less his bedtime. So that was the biggest reason why, the biggest catalyst why I started on this journey. So just to bring in another question I had about this new venture, am I enjoying it? Yes, I am, very much. I absolutely love it. And this is where I definitely made the right move about leaving the previous company, because essentially what I'm doing now, I am kind of incorporating what I actually enjoyed from my previous job, and that's training in subjects I really enjoy. Now, I love fitness, I love health, I love cooking, and I love investing in financial markets. Okay, so this is where, as I say, it's a great opportunity for me to include every one of my passions in those areas and give information surrounding them. There's a lot of, I suppose, I want to say misinformation being spread on social media about these areas. I don't mean maliciously, but it's not entirely correct in my opinion, and it's confusing a lot of people. And there are a number of really, really good people in these areas that people should follow. I'm not going to just obviously mention any names. Not that those type of people will follow me, but you know who they are, I'd imagine. And this new venture of mine is pretty much incorporating all of my passions, all rolled in one, with elements of my previous job that I really enjoyed, and help people. And that's essentially the bottom line of why I started this up. I really enjoyed helping people. When people came into my classes in my previous job, I loved helping them. At the end of the course, when they were going on to site into our clients, or they were going on to a different subject, if they came up to me and said, really thanks for your help, I learned so much, and I really want to learn more about this area, it was a big buzz for me. And this is why I'm kind of going down this route, because I'm getting that buzz to try and help you. So I hope that answers that question. So another question is, when do I sleep? Okay, obviously see my stories that I work out in the night or in the morning, depending which way you look at it. I try and sleep, but the reason why I work out at that time is because obviously I can't. And funny enough, tonight, it was actually last night that, let me just grab it, I had a sleep study done on me, which I had to insert breathing apparatus into my nostrils. I had a finger pulse, or a finger, kind of like a condom over my finger, which has got a pulse on there. And I had numerous other wires that went to different parts of heartbeat, measuring my heartbeat, and these things were monitoring obviously pulses and various aspects that could give them an insight into the type of sleep I'm having and how it's affected my life. So it went well. I did actually have a pretty good sleep, all things considered. I struggled getting to sleep because obviously there were so many wires everywhere, and obviously something strapped to your finger isn't exactly the most comfortable. But the study showed that it worked, and someone's from the hospital's coming around to collect it today, and they're going to obviously take it away and have a look what it recorded and let me know where the problem lies. So hopefully it is getting sorted, but I do try and sleep. But as I say, I've had this problem for quite a while. I believe it's sleep apnea, but obviously I'm not an expert in this area. So hopefully this will give an insight into it will shed some light into some capacity of how I can actually go on and improve my sleep in the future, let's just say. So one of the other questions, so I've already mentioned investing, was can I give investment tips? No is the answer to that. That's outside of my remit, and I'm certainly not going to be responsible for giving tips that may not work. I'm not a financial advisor. I will quite happily talk about investing and investments and my point of view of maybe good places to go and invest, but I'm certainly not going to give any individual tips, because that's not something that I want to go, a road I want to go down, because as I say, I'm not qualified to do that. And I'll be honest with you, one of my, I suppose, beliefs surrounding investing is that you shouldn't really listen to anyone, okay, about investing into a particular asset or particular company. You should do your own research and apply your own risks, okay, risk tolerances to that investment, and follow your I suppose your whole reasoning for investing in the first place. You should have written down, okay, the rules you apply to investing and follow them accordingly. Okay, so an investment plan, if you like, and that's one of the biggest things my mentor taught me was he asked to see my plan. and I didn't have a plan in place. And he said, well, everyone should have a plan. So, how are you making your investments? When are you buying? When are you selling? What kind of profits are you looking for? Are you investing in the long term, the short term? Are you investing in a particular asset class? All these things should go into that plan, and that plan should be followed. It should be strictly followed, and that's how I feel you should invest. So you shouldn't just listen to me. You should be listening to me and other people and coming up with your own answers, okay, off your own research. But another question I got: when am I going to start talking about investing investments? Well, ASAP, really. As I say, there's just so much I've got written down that I want to go through, that at the moment it is on the list, but there's just a few things that I want to get out there to you guys before I start going down that road. But it is coming up, okay? So yeah. So bear with me. I can't give you an exact time frame, but it will be in the very near future. What's my favorite? I did have this. I thought this was quite funny. Favorite cheat meal, and someone else asked me my favorite meal. So let me answer both of those in one. I don't have much of a sweet tooth, so if I was to be honest, when someone asks me my favorite cheat meal, I don't really cheat that often. But if I was going to pick one cheat meal, something I make would be a blondie, a chocolate blondie. The reason why I don't have it too often is because the whole thing comes to around 3,500 calories, and I've made it with the intention of splitting it up into a number of different portions, but ended up polishing off the lot. And obviously 3,500 calories in just one meal is quite a lot, let's just say, and it's doable. It is doable to put into a diet and not be too outside of your calorie maintenance, but it isn't exactly the healthiest. It's certainly not the worst, I have to say, as far as cheat meals go, but that would be, I think, my favorite cheat meal of all time. If I was out and about, okay, my favorite place to go for a cheat is the Cheesecake Factory, and obviously we don't have them in the UK, thank God. Well, my waistline saying thank God, but that's probably my favorite place to go and get a cheat. It's epic. I mean, if you haven't had a Cheesecake Factory cheesecake, then you haven't lived as far as desserts go. But that's my favorite cheat meal. My favorite meal, I've got a few. An absolute staple in my diet is beef, eggs and rice in one dish, all mixed together. That is, I had that several times a week, and I'll also, over the last probably 3 or 4 months, every single week when I do my meal prep, I make the breaded chicken, okay, that I've already done this recipe. I am going to release it in the next few weeks. It is one of the nicest meals as far as chickens goes for me. Once it's breaded, it stays moist, and obviously if you have a lot of chicken, chicken is renowned for going dry, but this keeps it moist, and when you reheat it, it still is moist, and it's just great tasting chicken. And I have that with rice, and in the rice I mix in some vegetables, and more often than not it's sauerkraut, sweet corn and peas, but I can put in any veg with that. But those two are my staple. That's one of my favorite meals, I would have to say. Another question I got, my last question I wrote down, was, can I explain intentional eating? I know I've mentioned this before about how I regard my diet, how the way I eat. Okay, intentional eating is pretty much what it says on the tin. It's intentionally eating towards what, okay, I am having that meal for. So if I'm eating a meal now, I'm thinking of what I'm doing, okay, in the next couple of hours. So all this I've had today I normally fast on a Thursday night to Friday morning. When I say fast, I do technically break the fast with a liquid shake, but I've had protein shake, that's it, okay, with almond milk, and I won't have anything now until around 12 o'clock, and I haven't eaten since last night around 5, 5:30. So you can call it, if you say it's not technically fasting, I wouldn't argue with you, but that's the way I see fasting. Okay, for me, I won't eat anything solid until 12 o'clock. Okay, but I know when people turn around and say, well, fasting isn't having kind of protein shakes, but I did have a protein shake, and that is just, as I say, a kind of liquid fast for me. So when I eat at 12, I'm thinking, what am I doing? Okay, in the next few hours after that. So that meal would be designed, if you like, okay, for future activity. Excuse me. So that's what intentional eating is. And now I have my high carb meal, okay, lasting at night, and that's my pre-workout. And the reason why I have that is because I'm intentionally eating for obviously the future, and I know the future in the few hours after that. But if I have something high carb at 7 o'clock, I'll go to bed typically around 9, half 9, and then obviously waking up, I can't have any fuel, okay, in solid form before my workout at whatever time in the morning I get up. Okay, so that 7 o'clock meal is designed for that activity. Okay, not necessarily for obviously sleeping, although when I do have a high carb meal, I do typically get a good night's sleep. But that's what intentional eating is. Okay, some people call it, well, performance eating, eating for performance. Yes, you could say that, but also as well, I'm not fueling specifically for performance. I might be fueling for a day off, okay, a rest day. So when that happens, I typically go lower carb, okay, but also I do have in mind of remembering what I'm doing the next day. So if today, which is an off day for me, I've also keeping in mind of what I'm going to be eating today that's going to roll over for tomorrow. And Saturday's workout for me right now in this peak phase is probably my less intense day of the week. But also Sunday is squats and deadlift day, which is my most intense. So I don't want to go too low carb, okay, because I am fueling for that as well. Okay, so I don't want to confuse people, but that is essentially the way I view eating. Okay, it is very much eating for what I'm going to do, okay, not for what I've done. Okay, it's just for what I'm going to do, and that's what intentional eating is. So guys, fantastic questions. I really like them, and I hope you enjoyed this first episode. Okay, please keep the questions, keep them coming in. Okay, as I say, I'm quite an open person. Those that already know me already know that I'm very transparent. I will answer any questions you give me. Okay, obviously, like I say, towards the investment tips, don't ask me specifically for those kind of answers, because I'm just not going to go down that route. Okay, because well, I suppose for obvious reasons. But you're more than welcome to ask me anything else, and I will give you my opinion. Okay, or if I know and qualify to answer them, I will answer them according to my qualification. Okay, so yeah, so I hope that's interesting for everybody, and I hope you enjoyed it. So guys, happy Friday. Enjoy your coffee with Rob. God, I really needed that as well. That's awesome coffee. Guys, if you haven't seen, okay, I get Skull Crusher coffee. Okay, in my opinion, it's the best coffee on the market right now. It's very strong, very potent. That's why I've dropped my coffee to once a day. It's yeah, it can leave you buzzing afterwards. So Friday's looking good for me after this. So guys, have a great rest of the weekend. Hopefully the weather improves for everybody, and I will see you next time. Take care.